Okay. Hey, Natalie. We can wave to ourselves. You can see yourself.
Hi.
There you are. Here's your tutorial on how to get into some of our basic databases from home. So, and off campus if you're someplace else. So from the college homepage, you know how to get there, ucc.edu. You'll click on Library. And once you click on Library, you're going to scroll down and you're going to access our library databases link right here. And the databases that we're going to look at are within our top library databases. And we are going to start by looking at opposing viewpoints. If you need more of a tutorial looking at opposing viewpoints, I have a link here to several database tutorials. And so kind of as I just explained, you can look topically here. You might want to think about your topic. I think yours is kind of fairly squarely in science, technology, and ethics. You can see it also being a society and culture thing, yes, or a national debate topic. Most of our topics actually cross disciplines. Some would definitely argue this is either health and business as well. You can also search at the top, and but they tend to work a little bit better with these kind of curated pages. So opposing viewpoints does kind of a view all type of thing here. They always list the top 3 because that's about all our brains can hold at a time is 3 things. So you have to click on view all to get more. So if you see just 3 things listed, just keep looking. So for example, medical ethics, there's a link here that might be interesting. We do have specifically one on cloning, which is kind of interesting. There might be some other ones on genetic testing, genetic engineering, actually as well, human genetics. All of these might be kind of interesting to take a look at. But I'll just go ahead and we'll start alphabetically here. Okay. So what opposing viewpoints does is gives you an overview of a topic, but then as I mentioned earlier, it kind of gives you top 3s in different information formats. So there's the top 3 viewpoints here, the top 3 academic journals, statistics, some news, some audio reports from various shows, most from NPR, and some various videos. These are all curated, so they tend to be actually considered quality resources. To get to anything scholarly and peer-reviewed, those are those academic journals. But everything else might be worth taking a look at. And again, it's the top 3, so if you want more, there's a total of 165. You might...
I probably won't need all 165.
Yeah, exactly. And so with the viewpoints, you know the database is called Opposing Viewpoints, so tries to give you opposing points of view or sides of this particular issue. And so unfortunately they're not always right next to one another, but yeah, it would be way too easy. You wouldn't browse, right? So so one person here is saying stem cell research should be allowed but not reproductive cloning, for example. Someone else is going to be saying, you know, maybe the difference it has failed to yield effective cures, so they might say it's not worth doing at all. So it's just something to take a look at, browse through. This is not saying it's not ethical, morally equivalent.
These two say this one should.
Yep,
and this
exactly.
one shouldn't.
Right. So you get the idea. They're kind of trying to give viewpoints. So I'm going to go ahead and just open one up so we can take a look at it. If you found one that you were interested in, and I'll let you browse at home or wherever, here's what they look like. They kind of, speak to this issue. And again, it's a viewpoint. They do have some resources that they cite.
That's nice.
Yeah, the cool thing there is that, you get, especially the journals, I mean, you can just probably pop that into Google search and maybe find it.
The other thing, at the bottom there, it had a citation. Would that be MLA?
Yes,
APA?
Let me show you. That's the next thing I'm going to show you. So it's probably MLA, but if you do find an article that you like in any of the Gale databases, and any of our databases, actually, you probably saw this in EBSCO, there's some tools. So you can print, you can download to your flash drive, you can download this to yourself, to a flash drive if that's how you like to keep things. You can email all of these to yourself. If you have a Google account, you can save it automatically to your Google Drive. It's kind of cool. And you can get citation help. So here's MLA, which of course you're using for this class. If you're taking Writing 227, or if you're in a speech class, you would use APA, so you just switch back and forth. And there's only one class on this college campus that uses Chicago. So you got art history. Art history, yep. And regular history should be using Chicago, but they don't. Anyway, so, this is kind of a guideline. It's not perfect. What you'll probably have to do is when you copy and paste it or do whatever you do with it, You don't need the link.
Mm-hmm.
If you were citing from the actual open web, you would need the link, but you don't need the link here, because in this case, since this isn't a database, this link is actually not going to get your reader anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Where your link to a web page will most likely get your reader someplace. Yeah. So it's not necessary here. So that's one thing you would change. But I don't usually download. I find it easier just to have a Word document open. Yep, exactly. Easier, peasier. So, and again, there's some kind of nice things. There's, if you like this one, there's related subjects on the side that can maybe help you think about that. So, you know, human genetic engineering, human cloning, biotechnology, and that sort of thing. Sometimes that can be helpful to think about. But yeah, opposing viewpoints, yeah, I think it's pretty easy to use, and it's just, you know, kind of going back and forth. You know, you might find yourself, okay, we looked at cloning. You know, you might find yourself wanting to take a look at, you know, where was it, genetic engineering, potentially, and to see if there's, and it's time to think about the implications of human genetic engineering. So genetic engineering is going to be, yeah, if you're doing something about genetic engineering, you might find things that you might want to just find yourself limiting yourself to humans, of course, right? Yeah. Because that's a broad term. And in fact, right here, you could limit to, it looks like human genetics, which might be too limiting, but you could do that. And again, they're all here. Here are the academic journals and such. So I'm not going to belabor this database because it's pretty easy. Just say these videos are 15 minutes long, so I'm just gonna, so that's why I'm going fast too. So I'm just going to close out of here. I'll close this one too because I have so many windows open. And so again, library databases, if we click on that, we get to here, top library databases. And we can look at CQ Researcher. As you can see from off campus, it's kind of a pain. What you'll get is a list of databases to choose from, and then you just have to choose CQ
You have to go through the A through I and then pick C?
It's a little bit different. I'd show you my phone, but you would click on CQ Researcher, and there's a list of about 8 databases that comes up. And from that list of 8, it's CQ Researcher. And it's just the same with this company.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. And so any of these, actually, if you're trying to get off access from off campus, by now you would have probably already been prompted for your library card number.
Yes.
Okay, you got that. Okay, very good. So I actually love CQ Researcher. It's narrow in that it usually tends to be topical, hot button issues. So it's not necessarily good for complex searching, but it's good for
history. Can I get a coverage of something?
They have a little bit of coverage if you find your topics, all about whether or not they've covered your topic or not. Because CQ Researcher actually CQ stands for Congressional Quarterly. And this is based on a very historical practice that used to take place in Congress. Every week, you'd walk in, you'd go to your seat in Congress, and you'd get a report of what the hot topic was for the week being discussed. And that's what these reports basically discuss in an overview. So you can search by keyword. You can browse by topics. So if you wanted to, browse by...
probably be human rights or technology.
Yeah, something like that. Possibly science and technology here, maybe. Or human rights, yeah. Or you can, if this isn't working, yeah, I could either. See, that's the thing. You could always go back and do a search. And,
biology.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah.
Manipulating the human genome.
Oh, here we are. That might be interesting. Let's take a look. And so that's kind of interesting. So that's what these reports can look like if you find one that matches your needs. So the cool thing is, also on the right-hand side, it gives you all this issue tracker for related reports. So this one was written in, 2015. You can see in 2017 they have one that covers this similar topic, genetics and cloning under medical breakthroughs. But they also have this one from 2013, patenting human genes, kind of the cloning controversy, all this kind of stuff by date. So how it's organized, this is the full report, but again, what I like about this is it kind of gives you a strategy of how you probably write your own paper. Of course, you're going to give your audience an introduction, overview, a background to the situation, what's going on now. Is there an outlook? Some really good pros and cons. The pros and cons tend to be people who are, and they're asking this very question. So these experts were asked, should human germline engineering be banned? And this person who says yes, she's the executive director for the Center for Genetics and Society. She's not just anybody on the street, right? She is the director of this huge. And this guy who is Khan, he's a professor of genetics at Harvard Medical School. So very qualified people to, really kind of address and speak to this question. But speaking of timeline, yeah, they usually offer a cool chronology and that sort of thing. So in addition to the overview and all that. This is the one database that's a little bit more different looking. So instead of being on the right or left where your tools are, they're right here. So if you are on campus here, you know, you can always just view the PDF and send it to yourself. You can print. These tend to be about 25 pages long. Yeah. But they're a fast read, and then you can email it to yourself. The Cite Now feature, I mean, I think they make it really clear. Just make sure you switch to MLA. And, you know, it's not as nice as the other copy and paste, but there it is. So anyway, but tend to be really, really great information. So that in a nutshell is, you know, CQ Researcher. Again, we found something by doing a topic browse. We could have also really easily gone up here and done, like, I don't know, genetic engineering and humans. As long as it doesn't accept many complicated searches compared to our advanced database. But see, that one is not even up here yet. Oh, here it is down here. So yeah, so you could definitely use that tool as well. So we have like 11 minutes left in this video. Let me close here.
More like 5.
4. Oh yeah, 4 minutes. Yeah, you're right. So top library database. We might have to make a second video. Just really quickly, I'm going to run us through academic OneFile. So this is kind of in this category of more advanced databases. And why I call them more advanced is because they're less, unlike the other two, which are kind of breadcrumby. You find your topic and you kind of, in a sense, follow the breadcrumbs to curated information. This is really kind of asking the researcher to put together conceptually their ideas of what they want to seek. So, and usually I kind of call it, you're putting together a what and so what search string. So if your what is, say, genetic engineering, you might say genetic engineering and, I don't know, law, or genetic engineering and health implications, or genetic engineering and ethics, or something like that. And you get deeper into some of your deeper so what questions too. For example, I had a student yesterday, he wanted to do research on LeBron James. So his what was LeBron James. And so we had to talk about, well, what's your so what about LeBron James? And he goes, why wouldn't I really talk about him as the role of athletes serving as role models? So LeBron James and role model for LeBron James. And then we started really talking about athletes and their responsibility, or do they have a responsibility to be role models? It's a really interesting question. So that was, and in a very totally different subject, that was his what and so what. And that's how we constructed our search. Sentences don't tend to work well. It's really concept-based. So it's like, take whatever your sentence is and find the concepts, circle them, and that's what you put in. So say, and also be flexible with your search terms. That's where most people get really stuck. Is, we're typing in genetic engineering, but we could probably call this, we could probably think of like 10 other ways to say genetic engineering.
Probably.
Yeah, exactly. So, or even different forms of the word. So we could say genetically engineered. We can say genetics, all those things. So just being mindful of that and changing your search as needed. So I'm just going to type, but we have to start somewhere. And I will go ahead and just say ethics for now, though that's probably really big. It depends a little bit on your search style. I think a lot of people, it tends to be better to start large. I mean, in fact, we could just type in genetic engineering and then narrow down. Some people like to be narrow from the get-go. I tend to like to filter afterwards. We could also do probably genetic engineering in humans, but so just have to kind of
I tried searching that on this database once.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
So
and that is what I get a lot of, stuff written in half English.
Right, because that's an all database. That's what it probably would have spoken to. So we can, I believe, can we remember the language here in this database? We can in EBSCO. Maybe we can't. That's weird and mildly annoying.
And I usually
really, they don't have limiting to English. That's really surprising. That's surprising. Okay, well then. Oh wait.
I think it is in English,
but we
it's just in medical English.
Right, yeah. So, and that's something to think about. So these are academic journals. I do, go away. I do advise, if you're finding a lot, feel free to browse through and look at some of the magazines to get started. You don't only need 5 peer-reviewed journals. You can use certainly more than that. This might contain valuable information that points you to an excellent source, and it's really readable and can help you get a handle on the subject. So, in academic journals alone, we came up with 4,000. We can do a couple things to limit. I'm running out of time here, so
Peer-reviewed.
You can do that. You can also search within the results. So you might say right away, well, no, I really just want to focus on humans. So that's one of my search there. So we've just cut out 3,000. articles.
Which is nice.
Yeah. You can limit by date range, and again, because of your topic, you know, you might